Welcome back to From the Pages of Victory Sports Wrestling, the fall 1984 issue. And the moment you step into these pages, you can feel the magazine leaning fully into the personalities that defined wrestling during the mid-1980s, a time when the sport was expanding rapidly and the stars themselves were becoming larger than life. The issue begins with Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and the tone is immediately electric. Snuka is portrayed as a wrestler whose presence alone changes the atmosphere in an arena. Fans know that once he steps through the ropes, something dramatic could happen at any moment. The Superfly's reputation for breathtaking aerial attacks and explosive bursts of offense had already made him one of the most talked-about wrestlers of the era. He is described as a competitor who combines quiet intensity with sudden violence, a man capable of standing motionless for a moment before launching into motion with unbelievable speed. His matches are presented as spectacles filled with daring leaps and dramatic finishes that leave audiences roaring. By 1984, Snuka's ability to captivate fans had become undeniable, and the magazine presents him as a performer whose star power continues to rise with every appearance. From that explosive beginning, the magazine turns to Tommy Rich, a wrestler whose reputation was built not on spectacle but on heart and relentless determination. Rich is described as the kind of competitor who thrives in the heat of battle, drawing strength from the energy of the crowd. In the wrestling territories of the American South, he had developed a loyal following of fans who admired his willingness to fight anyone placed in front of him. The article frames Rich as a passionate performer who refuses to be overshadowed by bigger names or louder personalities. His matches are depicted as emotional contests where perseverance often proves just as important as physical strength. Rich represents the scrappy, determined spirit that made territorial wrestling feel personal to its fans. The magazine then widens its perspective by introducing Shohei Baba, referred to as the Japanese Giant. Baba's inclusion reflects the global nature of professional wrestling during this period. Towering in stature and respected across Japan, Baba is presented as a figure whose influence stretches far beyond his own ring performances. The article emphasizes his leadership and the role he plays in shaping the wrestling landscape in Japan. His presence in the issue reminds readers that professional wrestling is not confined to American arenas, but thrives on an international stage where different styles and traditions come together. Returning to the American scene, the pages turn to Hulk Hogan, who by this point was rapidly becoming one of the most recognizable figures in all of professional wrestling. Hogan is portrayed as a towering powerhouse whose charisma and confidence make him impossible to ignore. His massive physique and booming personality capture the imagination of fans, and the article frames him as a man destined for greatness. Hogan's matches are described as dramatic battles where raw strength and determination carry him forward, and his ability to connect with audiences suggests that he is more than simply a wrestler. He is becoming a phenomenon. Following Hogan's feature is a profile of Tully Blanchard, introduced as the Mid-Atlantic Playboy. Blanchard represents a very different kind of wrestling personality. Where Hogan thrives on heroic charisma, Blanchard embraces arrogance and calculated confidence. The article describes him as a competitor who takes pride in his technical skill and ring intelligence. Blanchard's matches are portrayed as strategic battles in which he uses both athletic ability and psychological tactics to stay one step ahead of his opponents. His self-assured attitude and polished image make him one of the most distinctive performers in the Mid-Atlantic region. Next, the spotlight turns to Bruno Sammartino Jr., whose presence in wrestling naturally invites comparisons to his legendary father. The article explores the challenge of carrying such a famous name while attempting to establish an independent career. Being the son of a beloved champion brings both opportunity and pressure, and the magazine reflects on the expectations that follow him into every match. While the legacy of Bruno Sammartino looms large, the younger Sammartino is portrayed as determined to prove himself on his own terms. Veteran Bugsy McGraw appears next, and his feature highlights the unpredictable energy that has defined his career. McGraw's personality is described as eccentric and chaotic, the kind of wrestler who thrives on intensity and unpredictability. His matches are filled with wild emotion and sudden bursts of aggression, creating an atmosphere where anything could happen. The article paints McGraw as a competitor who refuses to follow convention, a wrestler whose individuality sets him apart from the rest of the roster. The Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, brings a completely different spirit to the pages of the magazine. Valiant's flamboyant personality and unmistakable charisma make him one of the most entertaining performers in professional wrestling. The article celebrates his connection with the fans, describing how crowds respond to his energetic style and infectious enthusiasm. Valiant's matches are presented as celebrations of audience participation, where the line between performer and crowd seems to disappear in a wave of cheers and excitement. Sergeant Slaughter enters the issue with a presence that is both commanding and intimidating. His military persona gives him an aura of discipline and authority that sets him apart from other wrestlers. The article describes Slaughter as a leader who approaches the ring with the seriousness of a battlefield commander. His booming voice, rigid posture, and aggressive style reinforce the image of a man who expects respect and obedience. Slaughter's character adds a dramatic layer to the wrestling landscape of the era. Tito Santana's feature highlights the rising star's combination of athleticism, determination, and growing popularity. Santana is portrayed as a competitor whose dedication to the craft has earned him admiration from fans and fellow wrestlers alike. His performances in the ring showcase a blend of technical skill and high-energy offense that keeps audiences engaged. The article presents Santana as a wrestler on the rise, a performer whose future in the sport appears bright. The final major profile focuses on Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Rhodes dominates the page with his unmistakable charisma and emotional connection with wrestling fans. The article emphasizes his blue-collar appeal, portraying him as a champion of the working class who speaks directly to the struggles and hopes of the audience. Rhodes' ability to communicate through both words and action makes him one of the most compelling personalities in wrestling. His matches are described as dramatic battles fueled by passion and determination. Beyond the wrestler profiles, the magazine encourages readers to become part of the wrestling world through a promotion, inviting fans to join the USA Honor Guard. By sending away for a membership card, readers are given a way to feel connected to the heroes they admire. A special full-color pin-up introduces the Honor Guard concept visually, offering a collectible centerpiece that fans can display proudly. Another feature shines a light on the mysterious Mr. Wrestling 2, the masked competitor whose identity and skill have long fascinated wrestling audiences. His presence adds an air of intrigue to the issue, reminding readers that the mask can transform a wrestler into a symbol larger than the individual beneath it. Fan participation continues with a ballot inviting readers to vote for wrestling's sexiest superstar. The magazine lists several prominent names and encourages fans to submit their own choices as well. The contest highlights the relationship between wrestling publications and their readership, giving fans a chance to influence future features. A Victory Sports puzzle page adds another layer of engagement, challenging readers to locate hidden NWA champions within a grid. For devoted followers of wrestling history, the puzzle becomes both entertainment and a test of knowledge. The issue concludes with the magazine's official wrestling ratings, an attempt to organize the sport's constantly shifting hierarchy of champions and contenders. The rankings offer readers a snapshot of where each wrestler stands within the broader wrestling landscape. Accompanying analysis explains how those rankings are determined, discussing the factors used to measure performance, championships, and momentum. Taken together, the fall 1984 issue of Victory Sports Wrestling captures a vibrant moment in wrestling history. The pages are filled with personalities who represent every corner of the sport's expanding world. From the explosive aerial attacks of Jimmy Snuka to the unstoppable charisma of Hulk Hogan, from the blue-collar passion of Dusty Rhodes to the wild unpredictability of Jimmy Valiant, the issue reflects an era when professional wrestling was evolving into a national phenomenon while still retaining the distinct flavor of the territories that helped build it. See you next time. Farewell from the Empire State.